Morning, everyone. Happy Sunday at Sundance. I'm Andrew Hamp. I'm a senior correspondent here at Billboard, and welcome to Billboard and Citi's Winterfest. Very excited to introduce today's guest for a special Q&A. We have Lindsey Stirling, who's no stranger if you're a big YouTuber. She just reached the very important milestone of 6 million YouTube subscribers. She's also got a building radio hit on our charts with Shatter Me, featuring Lizzie Hale. And she's here today. So without further ado, let's bring out Lindsey Stirling. Hi, Lindsey.
Hello.
Happy Sundance.
Oh, thank you.
So, first of all, what's it like being back in Utah? You went to school not too far from here, so this is a familiar territory, right?
It definitely is. It feels really good to be back. I was excited to put on my little hat and wear my braids and my scarf. And I mean, there's a nice crispness to the air of Utah, so I like it.
Excellent. So this is Winterfest. Do you have any favorite winter traditions? What's kind of your vibe? Are you an action sports person? Do you do snowboarding, skiing, anything?
Oh, those kind of traditions. I actually don't like the snow. And so even though I know that's a sin to say here. But yeah, even though I lived here for 5 years, 5 winters, I never went snowboarding once and I never went skiing once. That's a sin. But I love Christmas. I mean, I'm a huge I go all out for Christmas. I'm I go caroling and make cookies for neighbors. I'm that kind of a Christmas freak. I'm all about the Christmas pajamas and the onesies. So that's what I like. Not so much the sports, but
that's awesome.
And the music.
So I mentioned in introducing you today, you just passed the 6 million mark of subscribers on YouTube.
I did. Yes.
That's a huge milestone. Tell us a little bit how you got there, why YouTube was so important to getting you to where you are today in your career.
Oh gosh, YouTube I feel is kind of everything in getting me to where I'm at today, because the way the music industry is, anytime a new artist is picked up by a label, people feel like their jobs are at risk. And so that's why, for the longest time, there's been these gatekeepers in the music industry. And, if they don't 100% think this fits the formula of success, this artist, she's got the right look and the right sound, whatever, it's really hard to take a risk. And so nobody thought I was worth taking a risk on. And I tried so many different avenues, and every gate just stayed locked in my way. And finally I was well, I'm just going to start putting things online because I know how to do videos. I went to film school. I know how to do all this. I'm just going to do it myself. And I was absolutely shocked when it kind of exploded. And it's been a very fast, but also very consistent and just nice, steady rise. And I think that's the beauty of YouTube, is it allows people to find you in a very organic way. And I think that's one of the reasons that my fans have been so supportive, is because they found me. It's not like some, radio station said they had to listen to me or anything like that.
Totally. So who or what was it that empowered you to kind of go that DIY route? I mean, because first of all, it's worth noting that your music is also it's a fusion of classical, of dance, of a little bit of rock. So what was it that, was there one person maybe that helped empower you to take that path?
Absolutely. There is a YouTuber named Devin Graham, and his YouTube channel is Devin Supertramp. He is I think he still is based out of Utah, but he actually contacted me. He saw this, my little clip from when I was on America's Got Talent, and when he saw the clip where I got booted off the show, and I think he felt kind of sorry for me, and he was I think you're talented, and I think you have something really unique here, and he hit me up through Facebook, and he's I would love to do a free music video for you. You just have to let me do it, put it on my YouTube channel. And I was I looked at his stuff, and he's an amazing cinematographer. And so I just thought, why on earth would that be an incentive for him to have content for a channel? And so I looked into this YouTube thing, and basically we ended up becoming best friends, and I learned so much from him about the strategies of what I call the tubes, YouTube, and how it wasn't just a place for dog and cat videos. It's not just a place to put cool content. It's a business model, and it's a place to develop as an artist. And I learned so much from him, and it was so exciting to see a world where finally I could take the reins and I could go.
That's great. And then it's also worth noting that now behind the scenes you have the folks at Atom Factory and Troy Carter helping in your business. Tell us a little bit about what Troy and his team have been able you to do? Like you self-released your album last year, right? Maybe what are some ways that team has helped empower this current chapter?
Well, man, it's such a big decision when you're like trying to decide on a manager or a management company. And I was, I met with lots of different managers to try to decide who to go with. And the people at Atom Factory, I can't imagine a better team. They're very innovative and they're very forward thinking. And I love that. They didn't want to change me at all. They said, no, we don't want to change what you're doing. We want to take what you're doing and just add to it. And so it's really nice because I still have this very DIY mentality, but at the same time now I have the power behind me of these people who understand the way that the more traditional music industry works, and they have these amazing connections, and they're able to help me understand the other side. And so I think the combination of that is what is making this new venture very exciting and what's making it work.
Yeah, I remember Troy calling me like during release week. He was like, "We got her in Target and she doesn't have a label," like that kind of stuff.
I was excited. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. They've just gotten my music to places where you need to. I mean, usually you got to pull out the big guns for that, and so they've helped me.
And as I mentioned before, it debuted at #2, your most recent album, on our Billboard 200.
Yeah.
What was that like? Did you even think that was within the realm of possibility when you were putting it together?
You always hope. You have these like big dreams of like, oh, I think it could do really well, but you don't. When it actually happened and my album came out and I saw the numbers, I just kept like refreshing the page. I was just like, is this real? Like just staring at it, like this is real. Like wow, it was very exciting and. Kind of mind-blowing. You don't actually think that would happen. I didn't think it would actually happen.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that's happening right now is the Rise of Shatter Me. Almost a year after its release. How surreal is it to see it? It just charted to like number 39 at, American Top 40. Like I hear it on Sirius XM all the time.
News to me. It's I'm an instrumental artist, and I never thought as a violinist that I would have radio play. And so, I've just made like kind of goals as I go along the way. And finally I was like, I want to get a song on the radio as an independent artist, just little things. And when I was driving in my car and I heard it on the radio for the first time, I don't know if you guys have seen That Thing You Do, but I had that thing you do moment where I was stuck in my car in traffic, but I like wanted to run around and I wanted to be like, oh my gosh, like turn to Sirius XM, like I'm on the pulse, like that's me. I just had that huge moment of like, whoa. There's little moments along the way that are like that, where it's very like pinch me, this is really happening, and it's really cool when you actually get to live the moment and you see it happening as it's happening.
And how exciting is it for you that it's that song in particular? Because the message of that song I know is very personal. So tell us a little bit about this kind of the genesis of that song.
Yeah, this was definitely the most personal song that I've ever written because I dug really deep into probably the darkest time of my life to write that song. Because when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I struggled with anorexia. And it was something I didn't even realize I had for quite a while until one day I just realized I was incredibly unhappy. And I was suffering from depression all of a sudden. And I was like, this isn't me. I'm like, who is this person that I've become? And I didn't realize that I'd almost become a shell of the person that I used to be. And it was a shell. It was a facade. And I didn't even know who I was. And so Shatter Me is my experience in wanting to break free from this shell that I had built around myself. And, and that's why it's about the song of the ballerina in the music box and her desire to break free from this rigid, perfect porcelain frame and from this shell and to be able to be free. And so that's what the song is about. And it's really cool that people are connecting with it because I think when you're going through those kind of experiences, I felt so alone, and like nobody could ever possibly have understood what this feels like. And so I hope that through my music and through being open about what I've struggled with, I can give people hope that you can get past it. It's not like you just have to deal with it and learn to live with it, but you can get past it and live a very happy life.
Absolutely. Do you think that's why you connect so much with your YouTube community? I see some of the things that people tweet at you. It gets really intense sometimes. Like, how do you kind of almost rationalize, that people now feel invested in your life and vice versa? You're helping them deal with their issues now.
Yeah. I I don't know. I feel very much, my fans, I feel very connected to them, not only them to me, but me to them, because they are the ones that made my success possible. You know, YouTube was the route, but at the same time, I mean, anyone is an artist because they have people supporting them, and especially without a label, they're like my label.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
my peeps. They're all I got. And so, I think it's really actually very cool to think, like I said, that, the same way that I felt this way at one point in my life, that if someone else feels this way, to think that maybe I could help them through it is pretty amazing, because I don't know, I just think it's quite a huge responsibility, and sometimes it's a little bit daunting, but I feel it's important.
So I want to talk a little bit about your most recent video for Roundtable Rival. It's got a really fun, it looks big budget, old-timey Western theme. Tell us about the making of that. How do you get this cinematic quality into your clips?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know this, but I went to film school at BYU, and I was originally going to be a director. And so I have this love in my heart for film, and a lot of times before I even write the song, I would say it's 50-50. Sometimes I think of the video idea before I even write the song. Or actually for Roundtable Rival, I was in the studio and we were kind of messing around with some parts, and all of a sudden I was like, this is a Western, it's a steampunk Western, and it's gonna be a battle between me and a guitar player, outlaw. And so I was so excited to make this video come to life, and because I had thought of it as the song was being created, and it was like the two were very connected, and it was definitely, I would say, my favorite video I've ever done. Funnest to film. The dancing was fun. The costumes, everything about it was my favorite.
Now, do you reach out to other folks, other filmmakers in the YouTube community when you're working on videos? Is anyone helping you out behind the scenes, or how does that do it?
Yeah, not from the YouTube community so much. But I work with a group called Everdream, and I've worked with them for about the last year, actually, a year ago is when they did my first video with me. And they're so amazing, and they're very good at collaborating, because I'm very specific in the ideas I want and the themes I want to portray, and the look and the coloring and everything, and they're amazing collaborators. And we actually just I finished up my next video last night. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, right before
Out here?
No, I flew in this morning. We wrapped at 11 o'clock last night, and I think it might be my coolest video. I don't know, maybe it'll be my new favorite.
Okay.
So,
can you tell us what it's for?
It's for the song Take Flight off of my album, Shatter Me.
That's fantastic. Okay. So we'll look out for that.
Stay tuned.
So we've been talking about YouTube. We've been talking about labels or lack thereof. One thing that's going to play out over even the next couple months is the introduction of other video services, including Vessel. I mean, have you taken a look at some of those services? Might we see you pop up on some of these other platforms in the near future, and why?
It's a tough call, because part of me is very loyal to the roots that grew me, which is YouTube, and and I know that I've got very strong relationships at YouTube, and so it's a decision whether I want to possibly hurt some feelings over at YouTube by going other places, but I do think I've learned it's very important to kind of plant yourself in, all these new social medias are constantly popping up, there's Snapchat and this and that, and you find you hit different audiences on each one, and so, I'm learning more and more, even though it's really hard to keep up with oh, I should Instagram this, oh, I should Snapchat it, oh, I should, oh, I should Vine, so it's really important to keep up with them all, but at the same time, for sanity's sake, I'm picking and choosing. Yeah. Because I want to have a life as well.
Absolutely.
So that I can do all the Snapchat about something.
Yep. Well, it's funny because one of the Jonas Brothers, of all people, recently said that, you owe it to your fans on all of those platforms to give them unique content, right? Is that something you take seriously?
Yeah, that's why it's so hard,
Yeah.
because you don't want to just repost all your things on the same thing on this, each different platform. But and that's why I think I've decided to pick and choose a little bit more, because I want to, I want to not just be pumping out more and more and more. I want to always make sure it's quality. I want to make sure it's fun, it's funny, it's great. Whatever I'm trying to go for, I want it to be good. And so I think that's why I'm, like I said, picking my battles.
All right, so 3 fun questions then I want to open up to the folks here. First of all, I loving your Winterfest outfit today.
Thanks.
How would you describe your personal style philosophy? Is there a certain vibe you're going for when you're putting an outfit together for stage or off stage?
Well, it's very different actually, stage and off stage. Off stage, I'm gonna say comfortable, like 100%. I only wear leggings now. I can't wear jeans anymore. I just can't make myself put on a pair of jeans. So comfortable is key. And on stage, I want to say like rave pixie. I don't know. I have a slight like fantasy element I try to go for. I guess that's the best way I can describe it.
Excellent. All right. So again, you're very active on social media. Do you have a favorite emoji that you like to use?
Yeah, the
winky face. Yeah.
The winky face.
Okay.
It can be funny. It can be slightly flirty. It can be goofy. Yeah, whatever you want.
And Valentine's Day is around the corner. I'm curious, do you have a favorite love song, like a go-to?
My favorite love song. Oh, what's my favorite love song? Hold on. I can't think right now. I do have favorite love songs. My mind is telling me it's from the 80s, but I can't. One of those amazing 80s ballads are usually my favorite love songs, but off the top of my head, I'm going blank. But definitely one of those.
I'm guessing it's in the Journey vein, maybe?
Yeah, most likely. Family road trips, rocking out to Journey, for sure.
Well, let's take some audience questions, and if it comes back to you, we'll do it.
Sounds good.
All right. Any questions? Sir.
If I can indulge.
Please.
Yeah.
So, when did you know that violin was going to be your medium? Like, did you flirt with other instruments, and what was the moment that you knew that was going to be your instrument?
You know, the violin was always my instrument of choice, probably because that's the only one I really ever had a desire to play. Like, my parents tried to encourage me, like, maybe you should take piano lessons too, but I was like, nope. Like, I begged to play the violin as a child, and I was like not interested in anything else. However, I never really intended on it being my career until, I went to film school. I was interested in, then I was going to be a therapist, and all of a sudden, I got this intense, bug in me of, I have to do music. It was interesting, though. It came a little bit later. It came while I was in college, and I was sitting in classes, and all I could think about, and all I spent my free time doing was music, and I was like, why am I not trying to do music? But it was always the violin. Oh, yes.
Where did you get that amazing hat?
This little hat I love. That's why I'm wearing it, because I don't get to wear it in LA. I got this on tour, actually, in Vienna. It was this little old hat shop that they'd been around for 200 years, and I was super excited about it was my tour purchase.
Go ahead.
So you are known for your viral videos. Are there any viral videos that you like to watch or seek out or watch in your spare time?
Ooh, I would say I definitely have channels that I love. Like, I love the Piano Guys. They're my favorite music channel, and hey, they're from Utah as well, so woohoo. They're probably my favorite music channel. I really like Miranda Sings. I don't know if anyone knows Miranda Sings. Yeah. She's probably my favorite YouTuber. She's a comedian that plays a alter ego of herself. So those are very different. And I like Stuart Edge's channel a lot. They're feel-good pranks.
I had a quick follow-up on that, because you do a lot of crossover videos, right? Mm-hmm. So how did those come about? You did a Pentatonics one, right?
Yeah.
With Radioactive. How do some of those come about? Do your fan armies almost vote for it? How does that?
Sometimes you'll see over and over again. People are like, do something with this person, or it's really funny how sometimes you'll tweet at someone, we'll connect on Twitter, me and another artist, and then you see this huge oh my gosh, my two favorite people are talking, and then you're like, well, maybe we should do something together. So but a lot of times it just comes from the artists themselves, and YouTube is such a friendly, it's a community very much so. So I've filmed a couple collabs with vloggers lately that I just reached out to and was like, hey, I love watching your stuff, like Rhett and Link. I was like, I have this really fun idea, which will come out soon, and it's, we're going to film it soon, and it's going to be really funny. But just reaching out, and usually people are really excited to work together.
That's great. One over there?
Yeah, excuse me, you talked about building out goals. You talked about building out goals. Do you have any big goals on the horizon that we could expect to see from you?
Oh man, I am big into like New Year's resolutions, and I really overdid myself this year. But I'm feeling good. I'm like doing good on. But they're more like a lot of personal goals that I've just like I've really decided to make these a part of my life, and I've been very proud of how I've been doing this year. But things like just making sure I want to start my every day with meditation. I started to meditate, like little things like that, and just starting my day with spirituality, just so I can like kind of reinvigorate myself. And one of my biggest goals for this year is I'm working on a book, and I've just got a publisher, and I'm hoping to have it out in the fall if I can.
Wow, congrats on that.
Thank you. I'm really excited about it.
Which publisher?
It's one of the ones under Simon and Schuster. I don't even. Is that bad? Well, it's new. It's a new relationship.
So, like memoir, like what?
Yeah, it's a memoir, and I am not a brilliant writer, so but my sister is, and so it's really been a fun experience to co-write this book with my sister and kind of like take this trip down memory lane together. So it's been fun.
That's great. All right, so everyone cross the fingers for fall. Got another one? Right back there.
So I think like Shatter Me. I think it's like such a unique thing to have vocals on like a track with violin. So I was curious, is there any particular artist or vocalist that you look forward to working with or want to work with in the near future?
Yes, I have like a long list, but I'll give you the top ones. I love Ellie Goulding's voice so much, and Hayley Williams. Those are probably my like such different singers, but I just love their voices. So I hope to work with them someday. I actually originally wrote Shatter Me with Hayley Williams in mind to sing it, but she was on tour and things didn't work out, and she probably didn't, I don't know, that was probably an excuse, but it was a very polite excuse. I took it. And Lizzie Hale ended up being like the perfect person for the song.
Excellent. Well, I had a question for you because so you play here Tuesday night.
Yes.
And then you go back on the road. How has your touring evolved? I mean, you're probably able to spend a little bit more into the production and all that. So what are some things that you uniquely get to do on the road?
It's been so cool because when I first got the bug of like, I want to do this thing, it was all because I loved being on stage. And I had to figure out a way that I could be on stage and perform and make these ideas in my head come to life. And our first tour started a little over 2 years ago, my first ever tour. Pretty much shows ever, and it's just funny. Some of the stages we played on were literally as big as this, and there was a drum, and like I just was like leaning back and forth. That's all I could do, and it's been so cool. To every tour, it gets bigger, and this last tour I had backup dancers, and I had a lot of choreography that was involved with, and then there was costume changes, and I switched violins through the whole show. So it's been really fun to just see it evolve, and and we're starting to plan our next tour, and it's again, it's just starting to play with all these different toys of ideas that I one by one get to see them come to life.
Excellent. Well, you said you got the bug, and I wanted to ask you about your violin design. So what inspired the look and shape of your violin?
My violin, well, so I have several violins, and the ones you get to play with are the electric ones because, they don't need any acoustics. And I love sparkly things, so one is completely bedazzled. It's fun. I would pull it out of a treasure chest every night in a pirate-themed number, like, So it was, so I love theatricality like that. One of them glows in the dark. We actually put gaff tape all around it so that it glowed in the dark. And then, what other ones? I have a carbon fiber one. So I just liked these different violins because they all have different sounds. They all have very different looks, and it kind of just makes the show that much more like, oh.
Excellent. Got another one?
Yeah. So you studied film. Do you have a favorite director?
I really like J.J. Abrams. So I'm very excited that he's doing the new Star Wars stuff.
Cool.
Sorry.
All right, any others? Cool. Well, Lindsey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.